Good afternoon, the wonderful world of social media. So today, as you can see in the comments box, not in the comments box, what this video is about the ideal body fat percentage, and is there one? Now, if anyone's got any thoughts on this, if anyone's got any questions or opinions or anything like that, please post them up or just give us a thumbs up to let us know that we're on the right pathway. Okay, so I'm going to pick his brain for a little bit, as usual. Mr.
Tom,
Miller.
how are you? G'day.
I'm very well. How are you, my friend?
Good, thanks. Audio, everything's good to go?
Everything's good to go. Hopefully, G2G
Good.
or whatever it is.
All
Okay,
right,
so
let's get started.
the question is, I get asked it a lot. We've got an InBody 570 scanner, and that does, I know it's not 100% accurate, but obviously consistency is key and all that sort of stuff. And it does body fat percentage and muscle mass and all that type of thing. And so I get asked quite frequently, like, is that good? Is that a good body fat percentage? Is that bad? What's ideal now? Obviously, people who are going into bodybuilding competitions, there's one in Darwin
Sure.
this weekend, and obviously lower body fat percentage is better because you can see muscle. But what we're talking about is about health, and so
Sure.
let's start with females. What's your opinions?
Okay, sure. Now, this is a somewhat dangerous topic that we're walking into, offering specific body fat percentages for females. So I don't want to walk into a road train here. Now, let's give ourselves a few different options here. Now, with
Yeah.
females, let me just clarify this. The optimal body fat percentage for a female is based off the following criteria. One, the leanest body fat percentage you can have whilst eating the best food you can eat within the lifestyle that you have. So if you can get to a certain body fat percentage and you're eating consciously well, you're thinking about your food, you're doing the best you can within your lifestyle with how busy you are, with all the kids you have, and that's the leanest you can get from that food intake, then that is good. Okay, now that might be 20%, that might be 12%, that might be 30%, so long as you're putting conscious effort into eating well to attain a lean body mass with a lower body fat percentage from your food intake. The second part of that equation is the lowest body fat percentage you can have with the most lean body mass, so muscle tissue, you can have from exercise that you can fit into your life. So if you're so busy, you're a busy executive working mum, and you've got 0 to 3, 4, 5 kids, whatever it is, and you can only fit in 3 15-minute walks a week, and that gets you to 25% body fat, 14% body fat, whatever it is you can achieve within your lifestyle with the best effort you can put in, then that's the best body fat percentage for yourself. The final one and the most important for females is this. The leanest you can be with the two previous criteria you mentioned, nutrition and training, to fitting into your lifestyle with conscious effort, whilst maintaining a regular, healthy, regular being key, pain-free, PMS-free menstrual cycle. So now that might have you down at 14% body fat, and you're getting a regular cycle. If you then push yourself hard down to 10% body fat and you don't have a menstrual cycle, then that is too lean. Conversely, you could be well over 35% body fat, and there's the same issues again of that body fat percentage that then affecting your menstrual cycle. And so that is the most key element here. Fitting in the nutrition training into your lifestyle, doing the best you can with conscious effort, whilst also being consciously aware of your cycle and having that in its most healthy position. Now, I have a lot of professional athletes that I've worked with, and they go for months on end without a menstrual cycle. That for me is highly reflective of how stressed they are, overconsumption of certain types of foods, underconsumption of others, and the overall stress on their health system not just their performance. So I think they're not as healthy as they can be. So with those ladies, when they see me, the first point of call I have is trying to get their menstrual cycle on track to being regular and healthy as best we can within their lifestyle. And I have a guide that I'll tag his website in after this. He can do Skype calls for me on occasion. And he's kind of the specialist that I send my people to. So that's key there. Getting as lean as you can within the nutritional efforts that you can put in, within the exercise effort you can put in, whilst maintaining a healthy, regular, pain-free menstrual cycle. So that's, for females, might get you anywhere from 7% body fat right up to 25% body fat. But there's a point there that too heavy, too light is going to cause issues.
Yeah. So a lot of this, basically, it's subjective, is what you're saying. That
it is,
that
unfortunately.
it's 100% subjective. So, and I think like what we said before we started this, about sort of being harsh but fair as far as what this is now. I think there's an element sort of in the world today that not making excuses for anything. Do you know what I mean? Like, it has to be if you're in a certain shape and you're happy, but you're actually just telling yourself a few porcupines. You know what I mean? Like, do you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm getting at? Like,
I do know what you're saying. Yeah, and look, I'm not a Navy SEAL, so I'm not going to tell people to get up at 4 a.m. and crush their day, because I'm not about us. So I'm just a stay-at-home dad doing the best I can, and that's why I said with your nutrition, putting in conscious effort to eat well.
That's an important factor.
And with your exercise thing, it's not flogging yourself to get lean and defined and shredded. Stay away from that. But it's putting in conscious effort to be at your leanest you can, from the effort you can manage stress-free putting in. So conscious means you have to have some cognitive input, some thought there to go, hey, I need to do this, and I'm going to do this. So that's kind of that's kind of touching on what you've just said then. But also understanding that we also need to track the number one for me, health factor of women, which is a healthy, regular menstrual cycle, whilst incorporating what you said into an overarching theme of holistic health.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I think it's an important factor to mention as well, that exactly like what you just said about like getting shredded and all this sort of stuff. It's like, it's not cool. It's not clever. Like, if you're female and you haven't got a menstrual cycle because you're trying to get shred, like that's stupid. And I think now this is different with sports and things like that. Like, obviously, if you're a competitive bodybuilder and that's your sport, like what I say to a lot of people, it's like, if you're an athlete, health has got nothing to do with it. Like, obviously it would be better if you were healthy, but realistically, winning is the thing that they're more interested in. So unless that's you're competitively trying to achieve something, you can still do it healthily. But I think I've seen people that aren't healthy but are very, very high up in their sports.
Yeah, exactly right, and that's an entirely different beast that we can tackle on another occasion. Yeah, sure. As for
what about
men's,
the guys?
Look, I think men's is slightly different. We don't have to worry about the menstrual cycle. Obviously, what we do have to worry about is the testosterone cycle in men. The heavier you are in men, you're going to have a lower testosterone level. Exceptionally low body fat percentage, you're again going to have the same issues again. I think for men, anything, some of the big name guys in evolutionary science and so forth, we'll suggest, not me, will suggest anything from about 7.5 up to about 15%. And I'm of the humble opinion that is attainable for most people if you put conscious
100%.
effort into your nutrition, conscious effort into your training, conscious effort into your sleep and stress management. That is something that is attainable, barring major health factors like illnesses, diseases, medications, etc. If you have those things, obviously, you work with your doctor, the best way forward, or a specific health practitioner. But for the general population, I think if we can track conscious eating, track conscious exercise, track conscious sleep and stress management, then you're going to, over time, don't look at it as a 12-week cycle, look at it as a progressive development, and then progressive just lifestyle management. You can get within that range. Now, if we look at something like a BMI, like the current BMI will give you a percentage of, if you're this tall and you weigh this much, your BMI is this. Body mass index. Now, over time, as the general population's weight has increased, we're now, Australia, I think 66% overweight or something like that. Over time, as that weight has increased and gone further away from a lower baseline, it means that comparatively, the body mass index has shifted to reflect that. So what is now considered normal BMI, 15 years ago would have been considered overweight BMI. But because of the whole population shift in weight, the BMI has slightly shifted in weight.
So all the statistics are now skewed.
Yep. Now, a few years ago, when I weighed a bit more from doing a lot heavier weightlifting, I had to get a doctor's certificate for my life insurance to say that I wasn't, or to classify me as non-obese. Because on a BMI, I was obese. I was still at 10% body fat. I just had, 12 kilograms more muscle than I do now, and I'm a short fry. So I wasn't a tall guy. So I weighed as much, way more than I did. So, I mean, let's kind of disregard BMI, look at a body fat percentage. The leaner you are within that range of 7.5 to 15, you're going to have optimized hormonal function if you're eating well, managing stress, sleeping well, training well, which for men will be good testosterone production and function. If that's the case, then you're going to be able to avoid things like HRT and those sorts of things, and still maintain healthy hormonal ranges, healthy body fat percentages, which is very anti-aging and anti-illness in their overall effects.
And I think it's another important thing to say as well, like, just to go back on what you just said, like between 7 and 15%, I don't think, again, taking out the equation any sort of medical problems or anything like that, there is zero reason why a guy can't get into that state if they are tracking things, they're thinking about what they're doing, they're being more conscious, they're actually wanting to do what they're doing, and you know what, and they've got good advice, and stop Googling everything. If you want good advice, watch our YouTube channel.
That's right. And also, don't cherry pick. So the unfortunate thing with Google is you could get 30 different pieces of advice, and they can conflict each other. You might take something from over here, something from here, and get all these different things, and then merge them together, and they don't do so well. And hopefully, we're providing a platform that's trying to provide an avenue or an approach to health and fitness that kind of tries to do that, but it puts it into a system that's applicable based off our experience and education. So thank you everyone for letting us share this with you.
Yeah, for sure. And it's great because, like, there's a phrase that people should really think about, and that's, if you want to succeed, you stand on the shoulder of giants, because there's nothing that has been, there's no new information. It's just regurgitated and redone information, pretty much. Like, obviously there are specifics, but, I've looked at, like, coming from one school of thought and being told to do something and not cherry picked. And I've gone, I've become coachable. I've said to you, and I've said to, pretty much, I said, right, this person knows what they're talking about. I'm going to listen to what they're saying, and I'm going to copy what they're doing. And this is the result I'm going to get. Now, I'm 6'1". You're, I don't know how tall you are, but you know what I mean? All right, you went there, not me. And so, do you know what I mean? You've been, almost a professional level athlete. I haven't. And so what you've done with your body is very different to what I've done with my body. My genes are different, everything. We're from different parts of the world, all this sort of stuff. But I've taken what you've told me, I've implemented it and not cherry picked and the results are forthcoming, you know, and it's worked. So standing on the shoulders
Yeah.
of giants when it comes to this sort of stuff, I think that's critical for male or
Definitely.
female.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah, cool. All
Thanks
right, no
everyone for
worries, man.
watching.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow, eh?
See you soon. Bye.
Peace.